Question 12, what are the domain and range of this function? G of x equals 3 times log base 2x plus 1. I encourage you to get a graphing calculator. You can find these for free. You can go to desmos.com. That's a free graphing calculator. I'm going to use a graphing calculator, a free one, called Wabbit Emu. So I'm going to go to y equals. Let's clear everything out. We want to type in 3 log base 2x. So 3. To get the log base 2, there is a log button, but that's not really going to work for us. To find the log where we can change the base to something other than 10, we're going to press the math button. And we're going to scroll all the way down, and you should see something listed as log base. And we can type in the 2, right arrow key, I'm going to type in the x, right arrow key to get out of the parenthesis, plus 1, and let's graph. Your graph should look something like that. So now let's think about this for just a second. Domain. Recall that domain refers to all of the x values that this graph covers. So domain are the x's, which means range is the y. People get that mixed up all the time. A little trick is D comes before R in the alphabet and X comes before Y. So domain goes with X, range goes with Y. The Y's, of course, if you graph the Y coordinates, that's how far up and down the graph goes. X coordinates are how far left and right this graph goes. Range to me in this problem is much easier because we can clearly see this graph is increasing. It is going up. It is moving to the right, but it's also going up forever. It kind of looks like it disappears, but it doesn't. It's just going down forever. So this graph is going up and down forever, which means our range are all row numbers. All of the y values are covered on this graph because it goes up and down forever. So I know it has to be one of those two choices there. So I'm going to mark out choice A and choice B. So then the question is, our domain, does it go from 1 to infinity or from 0 to infinity? So again, domain, those are our x values. So let me clear that out. And let me do this in black. So it would cooperate with me. Yeah. So this graph, obviously, domain are the x values. This graph is going to the right forever. So that's all the positive x values, which is why both of these choices end in positive infinity. The x's are getting bigger forever. But as we move to the left, it doesn't move left forever. It kind of stops. The question is, okay, is that stopping at 0 or is that stopping at 1? So there's two ways to think about this. One way is to think, okay, what number can you not take the logarithm of? So while you chew on that, the other way is we can look at the graphing calculator's table. Second graph, and we can see when x is 1, y is 1. So this graph exists when x is 1, but it doesn't exist when x is 0. We get an error message. So that means the domain does not exist from 0 to infinity. It exists from 1 to infinity. And again, going back to that question I asked you, you cannot take the log of 0. Remember, log base 2, 0 is basically saying 2 to the what power equals 0. And that's just not possible. But then when you think about 1, and we say, what's log base 2, 1? This is saying 2 to the what power equals 1. And you have to put on your thinking caps here, but 2 to the 0 power gives you 1. So that's why this graph exists at 1. but does not exist at 0. So the answer choice is C.